evening. You're on with Big J, and you know what time it is. Let's talk. Man, I'm excited about what's going on the channel. We thank you so much because we hit over 2,000 subscribers, headed to 3,000, doing it the right way, presenting good content. I'd rather take a while doing something than expeditiously doing it, and it fails, it doesn't work. All right, so far, everything is going the way that YouTube said it's supposed to go. So we thank you for tuning in with us tonight, and we thank you for all those who have subscribed to our channel and become a part of the narratives that we create here. And we thank you for your comments, and make sure that you smash that like button because we do appreciate. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, now would be a great opportunity to take that time. Hit that red button. Also hit the bell so you'll be notified when we upload new content. So again, let's get into the thumbnail and what I want to talk about today. I came up with a narrative a couple of days ago that suggested to every action, there is a reaction. And actions are like a bullet going from a gun. Once you fire that gun, that bullet won't return. You can't pull it back. We have to be cognitive of and conscious of what we say, especially if those same type of things have belittled or offended us. If you look at my thumbnail, I said, what did she have to do with Stephen A. Smith and Kwame Brown? I'm going to play this clip for you. And I don't believe that Kwame meant Vice President any harm. I don't. But again, to every action, there's a reaction. Judge Joe Brown just don't care about nothing. As you listen to him talk, he's in a political place to where most of us can't be, all right? No matter how much you inspire or want to be in that place, we're not. So there is a reality to it. So we have to take it and see it as non-conducive when it comes to other individuals, but conducive when it comes to his own narrative. I'll be right back.
I'm scared to talk about Kamala Harris. I'll let you have that one.
Nah, she's a witch, and she is a corrupt witch. She's been corrupt her whole life, and she used to be a frat hoe when she was at Howard, and she ain't black. You know,
I ain't got nothing to do with this, Miss Harris.
Nah, I mean, well, don't. But she's
I don't know. I'm just listening.
Well, here's the thing. I actually met her father in Jamaica. I was the guest, sat at the Governor General's table, and he was a professor.
Okay.
And he represents as a Hindu Brahmin. He admittedly has some Irish in him. All right. The person that Kamala Harris is saying is her black great-grandmother is, in fact, according to Daddy, in an article he wrote, which has now been cleaned up on the online edition of that magazine, was a Hindu house servant, not a black woman.
What that has to do with Kwame's narrative, I don't know. Maybe you do. And if you do, please leave it in the comment because I don't want to judge anyone wrong. But to me, this has nothing to do with what's going on and the beef, the quote unquote beef between those who are in old media and Mr. Brown. But watch this. Kwame said, I have nothing to do with this. Yes, you do. Unfortunately. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just telling the truth. And if the truth hurts, I'm sorry. But watch this. On this show, D-Mac and myself, before we bring someone on to interview, there is a script that we go over. They know what they can say and what they can't say. We know them. We just don't bring them on and allow them to spew things which are inconsistent with our narrative because it will make us look fundamentally bad. Got that? And I'm in no way against Kwame Brown. But watch this. When there's confusion, it will cause chaos. Let me say it again. Where there's confusion, it will cause chaos. You cannot be on 2 or 3 plights suggesting that each narrative will support my understanding. It's not going to work. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be an explosion. And that explosion is going to end up hurting what innocent people are going through. The same thing that was suggested about Stephen A. Smith. what's the boy name? Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Charlamagne. Guess what just happened to this lady? No one was thinking about this woman. No one woke up today, I guarantee you, and said, oh, Kwame Brown did everybody to get to where she is. President did this. No, I guarantee you, no one was thinking about her. But now, so I wonder, is that the same thing that somebody else went through? Her character was different. I'm going to leave that alone. But what am I saying? We have to learn that when we're given a platform, it has to be handled conducive. And those who work with us or for us, they have a job to do to make these things, make sure they never happen. When you have a certain economic to ensure that, and you don't, that tells me something about your character. Because when I make sure that we cross all the dots, we cross and dot everything that we have to do before we bring someone on. Why? Because it represents me. It represents D-Mac. No matter what goes on this channel, if someone cusses, trips out, does whatever, it does not represent them. It represents us because they are on our channel. It didn't represent Joe Brown. It represented Kwame Brown. Why? Because he was on his channel. So this is what I'm saying. To every action, there is a reaction, and it's getting out of control. This woman right here had nothing to do with it. I don't care what she did, who she did, when she did, where she did. As long as the country is running according to the Constitution and we are safe and our democracy is in place, I could care less about who she did what with. As I listened to Judge today, it makes me kind of think maybe even trying to get some, she can give him none. Broken heart, hurt feelings, speaks loud. Ooh. Listen, we want to bring you content conducive for your hearing and the truth and reality of every situation as possible as we can. I will not denigrate, I will not defile, and I will not do anything that wrecks or hurts the Constitution of these great United States of America. If I got a problem, there's a place called Africa. And if I'm according to that standard, that's where I need to be. Other than that, I'm not going to judge any people, any person, other than the political agenda of what's given in the Constitution. I said it before, in 1776, right before the ratification, we go back to Great Britain, and Great Britain had a problem that just arose. And what happened, you had a group of farmers who got together, and they called and they had something called Shays Rebellion. I must try to instruct and help in how we do things. And what Shays Rebellion said, they came together as a group. Thank God there was no internet. Thank God there was no YouTube. Thank God there was no social media. And when these men came together, they marched on Britain's capital. And what they said is, listen, we do what we're supposed to do as farmers, but we're not being represented because there is taxation without representation. In other words, we're giving what we're supposed to give and do what we're supposed to do. But this, as a monarchy, and as a country, is not supporting those who pay taxes. So it is the same thing. Let's imagine there is no social media. How do we cause a resolution to the conflict that exists? See, because the best thing that I've learned as a young minister and as a pastor, that where there is conflict, there has to be a resolution. And if a resolution is not settled and found, it will cause more injury and harm to other people who are not involved. And that's what we call and we use and we look at the word classism, because those who are in the upper understanding of that word, they have a way way that they deal with things on a corporate level. And one of the things is not to bring it to market. It has, I guarantee you, all those major companies handle it behind doors. Why? Because not only the corporate heads, but the employees can be affected. One thing a CEO does, he does not go downstairs and fraternize with the blue collar worker, because what that would do, that would cause injury to other people, because now when he wants them to respect him, they look at him and say, huh? What? No, like my daughter does me sometimes. Huh? So you understand what I'm saying? We have to be politically correct in our agenda, even if our narrative is negative. We still have to make sure other people won't be affected or hurt. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not trying to get views behind nobody. Small content creators, watch my videos. Myself and D-Mac, we only tell the truth. I'm not chasing that, because what you chase and what you look for support in, it will turn on you, and you will have to give allegiance to it. Otherwise, you will forever be under the thumb of those who control you. That's why the 48 laws of power. And sometimes they're used right among us, and we don't even know. Because when you're weak, I don't care what you sound like, care what you look like. Somebody from the hood can spot a weak dude from a mile away. And once they spot that, guess what they do? Once they lock you in according to them 48 laws of power, I can't say what I want to say. You heard the young man talk about it today on the show. Go back and watch that. Samaj White hit a lot of points that were necessary for us as men. As men, there's just certain things that real men don't do. They don't do. There's no reason to do, especially if you have been excluded from the negative narrative. Why go back into Egypt? Why? I'm lost. I'm confused. God delivered him. He brought him out. He made a way. Why am I going back to Egypt? That's like being a slave again. Oh, master fed me on Monday. Master clothed me on Tuesday. Man, I don't like this freedom. I'm going back in bondage. Why? For someone to support our narrative? Nah, I'm good. I was born alone and I'm gonna die alone. I'm not picking up other people's verbiage on YouTube, their language, how they say it. That shows weakness. Strength is when a man is able to dialogue based on what he's eternally feeling, and it comes through the mouth and represents his true nature. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Rest in peace, my brother. That's the bigger narrative. Within this country, individuals are still being, with this in this country, individuals are still suffering. Individuals are still going through. Young African-American men are still being killed daily. Because we don't see it, we forget it. You can never forget injustice based on what other people call right. There are still people dying. Why are we worried about a man's basketball career if he had little hands? Bring the narrative, the true narrative, Stephen A. Smith. Bring the true narrative that African-American men are still dying at a high rate in this country. That's the true narrative. Spike Lee, go back and watch some of his movies. Those movies just weren't based on Spike Lee making money. The narrative was true. The narrative was right, and the narrative was real. Not all this crap today. Who wants to watch? I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. It's all in a facade. Hey, I want to thank you for being on with Big J. Let's talk. I'm not going to even say I hope my narrative wasn't. Let's talk. And I appreciate those who do come on this channel and those who do support. You are amazing. Help us get to 3,000 subs now. You did it. In a few days, we're at 2,000 now. Help us get to 3,000. We don't ask for anything. We don't ask for any money. We don't ask for super chats. None of that. If you like what you hear, all we ask you to do is go get a membership. Be a part. We'll make you a moderator so your voice can be heard. On Big J and D-Mac, let's talk. We appreciate you again. Have an amazing day. Be the best.